Who's in charge of your health? Yourself? Ourselves? Not the doctor. A lot of times we give it to the doctor, make decisions. I believe that's what Cansurvive is all about. So my name is Yoga Devan. I'm not a doctor. I'm an accountant actually, but I helped set up this organization because my wife at one point in time needed some help, and somebody I'll introduce them as well. So as I go along. So your well-being starts with you. Like the lady said, exercising and so on. All those things are very vital, including sleeping as well. So let me see, where's the arrows here? Okay, that's it. So conveners of Cansurvive. So Cansurvive is not just in Malaysia. We are not affiliates, but the idea popped up somewhere in Australia some time ago. The latest one is Philippines. That's Dr. Christine Gonzalez. Dr. Piranai is our founder in Malaysia, who worked in Australia for many years, and he used to volunteer at the Australian Cansurvive, and he wanted to have this idea of Cansurvive in Malaysia. Yeah, so that's how it all started about 15 years ago, and we do a lot of events, conference, monthly talks, retreats, and so on. Yeah. So World Cancer Day 2024. Should we do something? The last two World Cancer Days, we actually had symposium of cancer survivors telling their stories. About 5-6 people sharing on the web, because it was all lockdowns and so on, right? So what we want to do for 2024 is we thought of doing the same thing, but it didn't work out. So we come up with this thing called a forum. You know what's a forum? Kind of a panel discussion, but it's not going to be entirely a panel. The panel is going to be in the afternoon. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment, what it's all about, because that's what we're going to do for the World Cancer Day. And it's not today, it's going to be next Sunday. It's on the webinar, so I'll tell you how to get involved if you want to. It's on Zoom. But I want to tell you where it's coming from, because about 1 year ago, we were at that point where we had to make some choices, because we were not very, I wouldn't say favor or not favor, but there were two groups of people. One who said you must take the boosters, and there was another who said don't take the boosters. Are you all familiar? Are you all boosted? Are you guys up to date? Remember the health minister who said, if you're not up to date, you're not vaccinated? How many here got the 5th booster shot already? The 5th shot? 5th shot, no? So you're all anti-vaxxers, right? Okay. So, so last year was actually very challenging for us, because we wanted to present information. We were not taking sides, but we got one who wants boosting, one who doesn't want boosting. Let's present it to the people, let them make their choice. Would that be good? So we had Dr. Lim, who, is very much promoting the booster. And we had Dr. Shankara Chetty from South Africa, actually, who says cancer patients should stay away from the boosters, and this is why. So they were both medical professions, but they had different opinions. And as usual, our MC online is Elka, the pretty lady. But this time we decided, hey, let's have a moderator as well, because it's going to be a bit of a, two different camps, right? So today I'll just be sharing about the things that we do. One is this events, one more is about a little bit about coaching, and one more about what's called the 9 pillars of well-being. So this one first. So where it all came from. And on top of that, we decided, hey, let's have a good panel, so that, when these two guys present opposite information, we also have people who can tell us it's good or bad and what they think about it. We had the MAFIM president, Malaysian Association for Functional and Interdisciplinary Medicine, Dr. Vijendre. We had one international researcher who actually found that COVID infected your gut first before it infected you, Dr. Sabine Hazan from California, Dr. Daryl DiMello from India, and a lawyer as well, just to keep things, in a legal perspective. But yet, at the end of the day, it was still divided, because they thought they were right, and the others thought they were right. Yeah. So it's very difficult for us to make choices. Why? Because this whole world is divided. Because it's based on divide and rule, isn't it? We're not supposed to all work together like this. And it all started, as you can see very clearly, during COVID time. Do you notice something here? You know who's the guy on the right, isn't it? Now, who's the president? But he looks pretty pissed off, right? Because this guy on his right is the highest paid person in the entire US civil service. Yeah? And I'll end this slide with actually him coming up again. And it's not just about the States, because they had this virus, it's all over the world. Yeah, 2020, they have to make sure the whole world has the right things to do, the same things to do. So who better than Klaus Schwab, to get the world mobilized. But one brilliant businessman there, right? Can you recognize him? Yeah? Yeah, that's he probably can buy half the world, right? And, he comes up with great ideas. So he's got this organization called the WHO, which he almost fully funds. And he decides who he can pick as the director, right? And I put a date here. Can you see the date? 23rd July. I purposely wanted to remind myself. Are we still in a pandemic, girls, ladies? No, COVID is over, huh? But we are still in a pandemic. What pandemic? We are in the monkeypox pandemic. It's not over. Decided by one man against all his advisors. So that's the kind of world we are living, and that's how we need to follow. Now, if you don't follow them, what happens? You're called a conspiracy theory. So this is how the world is divided. So who are the conspiracy theories? Can you take a guess? Who comes out with all the conspiracy? All the doctors, lah. Have you heard of the FLCCC? They just don't agree, so they want to do things differently because they actually want to save people. That's their goal. Let the doctors decide. Put the patients first. And that's what we always do, right? Put the patients first. And even in Malaysia, MAFIM, group of all these doctors all over the place, right? All the clinics and everywhere. They were also trying to help. This is beginning of pandemic. They want to help people with COVID because vaccine is not come out yet. Who do they turn to? They turn to a guy who has saved 6,000 people, no vax, and the 6,000 people all lived. Nobody died, didn't even go to hospital, no need oxygen, no need nothing. Dr. Shankara Chetty. At that time, 6,000. Later, when he came here to the MAFIM conference in 22, he already reached 15,000, but he said, Yoga, stop counting. Nobody's interested. Okay? And this is Dr. Asim, the UK. So we go South Africa, now in US, now look at UK. Who is Dr. Asim Malhotra? He is the topmost cardiologist in UK. Took his wax, this is after the wax now. That's his dad next to him, took the wax as well. A few months down the road, his dad passed on, heart attack. Asim Malhotra had a lot of heart problems because the COVID vax gives a lot of cardiovascular problems. Yeah, and that's what he went around saying, and then he becomes a bad doctor. But don't go far, even in Malaysia. That was just yesterday. I think you guys can recognize Toki, right? That was just yesterday. He's talking about the school teachers. Please don't force the school teachers to get boosters. Go watch it. It's on YouTube, yeah? But what's happening on this side, you can't blame the mainstream. They're still doing their best. They're researching now into COVID, seeing whether it plays a part with Alzheimer's and so on. Some good work being done there. But it's still going to take a long time before this stuff come out. But maybe we got another pandemic coming. So Singaporeans, like Kiasu as usual, they're already prepared for the next pandemic. They even have a book out. So please buy that book. Or maybe you're thinking about joining us next Sunday about a possibility of this thing called long COVID. And you don't even need to join us because if you go to FLCCC's website, you have all the remedies for long COVID. So you might be asking what long COVID is, but before that I must tell you that these guys up here are now in trouble because the US Senate is hearing about what's happening to people. What is this long COVID? Why are people having all kinds of problems and health issues? And Anthony Fauci is on the stand with that Senator Rand Paul, and every day they are fighting over the last 1 year. I don't know whether this will come to anything. We can't do much about that, but it doesn't matter. What matters is, are we facing a cancer pandemic? What do you think? Am I trying to frighten you? Because this morning they said, please don't tell anyone, there's 1 in 3, right? And this is not hearsay. This is Wall Street Journal saying that doctors are alarmed and baffled. And the young people are getting hit. Now, if you guys got a flu, got a cough or something, and you're coughing for 3 months, 6 months, don't sit down. You got to do something about it. If you got some funny issues with your health you never had before, don't sit down. Do something about it. So next Sunday, overcoming long COVID, preventing the morphing of cancer, because this could lead to cancer. Because today, there's something, some people, they may not be supportive of this, but I don't know if you have heard of it. Even when I ask oncologists, they do not acknowledge it. Have you heard of turbo cancers? Hello? No, huh? I'm not frightening you, because if we don't detect it now, we don't do something now, 2-3 years down the road, there's going to be a lot of problems. So this is what we're going to talk about next Sunday with these 10 doctors who's going to present to you all what they know. Dr. Roland will tell you what this long COVID is all about. Dr. Amir will give you some solutions from a Western medical perspective. We've got the Chinese medicine, homeopathy, Ayurveda, natural approach. Isaac is there. He was outside with this hypothermia machine. He's going to be on. This is all on Zoom. And then we have a panel of Dr. Shankara Chetty, Dr. Sabine, and Dr. Philip Macmillan dealing with Q&As from the public in the afternoon and taking it on further. Yeah. So welcome you to join that. If you're interested, you can scan that and join in straight away, because that's on Zoom live. How long do I have, guys? 10 times up. So this is our 9 pillars. I'll just end with this. And that's a coaching thing coming out, because exercise is one of the pillars. It's actually under our Kaizen pillar. Detox, it's all about building the immune system. This is our support activity, actually, what we do. And we have already done everything online with all the doctors and so on. So if you're interested, the videos will be on BitChute, which is put up there. And as you all know, this psychosocial thing, we all need to also help people talk to one another, especially talk to cancer patients, because it's a mind, body, spirit issue, right? And there's no health without mental health. So therefore, think about being a cancer coach, because cancer patients, they don't want to hear what to do. They want to express themselves, and cancer coaches allow people to talk and make choices themselves rather than tell them what to do, because we want to help, but we try too hard. So if you're looking at organizations or individuals who are interested in cancer coaching, psycho-oncological coaching, there's a number here that you can contact. This is what we're doing in collaboration with the German counterpart. And thank you so much for listening.